All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and begin with the last manga reaction for the day, and then I gotta get started with the One Piece episode. Let's just get to it. Yo, peoples! Qushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another live reading of Sakamoto Days. We cut to the order, and it centers... We praise... You know what? Let me do this. Let me go back to 209. We have Sakamoto and his crew going through stealing guns from everybody. Shin, Boiled, Kindaka, and everyone's arguing like, hey, you can't be taking our guns, because, like, there's tons of people out there in Japan. It's not like they can take every single one of them. So, when they get stopped by JAA, they easily beat these JAA dudes into the ground, saying, like, this society is better for assassins. Nobody's going to side with you. You'll be squashed like bugs in no time. And Boyle says, hate to admit it, but they have a point with the entire order against us. And then he goes, not all of us, because Shishiba had told Shin, I'm not siding with X. He's finally right where I want him, just don't get in the way. And Shishiba, after telling Osaragi that I'm leaving and we'll probably end up, and Osaragi says we'll probably end up enemies, he leaves and goes in to try and attack Uzuki. But not before he gets stopped by Oki and Torres. And just when it seems like Oki is preparing to take out Shishiba, Osaragi comes in, and she says it's not an ideal world if there's people you hate in it. True. Okay, then let's kill them together. So essentially, Osaragi and Shishiba are going up against Uzuki and the Order. So let's see what happens in Chapter 210. Chapter 210, Days 210, Hostility and Hostility. We're about to... I just brought up, we are probably going to find out about the backstory between Shishiba and Osaragi. And here we are in a flashback where we're in this rice field, and Osaragi she's had her circular saw. She's had her circular saw even back then. And she's surrounded, I guess in this farmhouse, surrounded by a whole lot of blood. And I believe this is before her hair even got long. But she's just sitting, curled up with her circular saw next to her. And Shishiba goes, I heard a lot of assassins went missing in the Tohoku region, so I came to check it out. Did you do this? And it shows that there are numerous JAA dudes just dead all around Osaragi. Some people are missing limbs, some are not, but they're all dead.
Are you a god, mister? Did you come here to kill me?
Huh?
The gods punish you if you do bad things.
Sorry, but I'm a bad guy too.
Oh, that's too bad.
And she's either eating some sandwiches or she's eating some onigiri. What, you wanna die?
No, but I don't think I should be here.
Wanna come with me then? There's a place for people like us. And this shows Shishiba, when he was younger, bangs and a pulled back ponytail, the look he had when he was with Yotsumura. And it shows Osaragi, she's go wide-eyed. And then it cuts back to the present with Shishiba, hair down, bleeding on the forehead, and Osaragi standing next to him. And then we have Oki. There it is. Get out, Flem. What a nice tool you picked up, Shishiba. She's not an object, Mr. Oki. We don't need strong-willed pawns here. And he takes his halberd and he tries to sweep both Shishiba and Osaragi. And when they jump out of the way, he goes, Torres, yo. And then Torres takes his sandblaster and blasts directly into the ground, pretty much destroying it and having them fall through into an entire midst of JAA agents. And Oki says, whoever kills them will join the new order. There are 2 seats. Fight for them. Kill the traitors! And then it just shows all of these agents trying to bum rush Osaragi and Shishiba. Osaragi has that same emotionless face, and then Shishiba smiling, going, bring it on. And it just shows them just killing all of these agents as if they're nothing. Like, one dude loses both of his arms, another one gets sliced straight through the head all the way down by Osaragi, And they're just fighting this entire crowd of dudes. And one dude isn't paying attention as Shishiba is cutting people apart with a hammer. Let me remind you what a hammer is. A hammer is not a cutting tool. A hammer is not a cutting tool. It is an instrument made to be mainly used for its blunt power. It is meant to hammer in things, to smash things. And Shishiba is cutting people apart as if it's nothing with just the claw part of his hammer. Mind you, when it comes to the claw part of a hammer, it's not in a way where if it's close together, it can slice through human bone. It's still meant to be in a way where it'll tear at things, but not necessarily cut them cleanly. Shishiba is just effortlessly cutting through people with his... This is a hammer! He's using a household hammer! This isn't even like a big old hefty two-handed hammer. It's not even a mallet. It is just regular hammers. And he's just cutting people apart. One dude comes up right next to him and tries to bring his sword down. Shishiba easily catches it in the claw part of his hammer and then proceeds to separate this dude's head from his shoulders in one fell swoop. Then Osaragi proceeds to use a circular saw against a dude who puts up a shield, and then he goes, "That stopped her!" And a whole bunch of agents all of a sudden grab Osaragi. They hold her, and they got one of her arms held. Like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dudes trying to hold her down. And Osaragi starts revving up the saw. And not only does she blow apart all the agents that were holding her, but she uses the momentum of the saw to literally corkscrew all up the entire room, because they're in this big cathedral atrium looking place. And it's circular, this circular atrium looking place. And Osaragi basically just, with one hand, uses the power of her saw to ride up the walls while slicing people apart. And then even Torres goes, "Dang, freaky. She's like a rampaging beast. The air's thick with bloodlust." And then Uzuki's heart thumps. And then we get a short view of Old Man Takamura. And that catches the attention of both Torres and Oki. And Mr. Takamura, the Takamura personality has awakened. And Uzuki, under this personality, jumps down to where Shishiba and Osaragi are, and they immediately notice. "Uh-oh, that's right. Mr. Takamura reacts to bloodlust." And Uzuki starts muttering to himself. And Osaragi shudders, and for the first time, we see sweat on her face. And then Uzuki jumps down in front of her, and it appears that Osaragi starts running towards Uzuki. "No! Osaragi!" And all we see is Osaragi getting cut, her circular saw being destroyed, and Shishiba can only look on. "Osaragi."
Mr. Shishiba? Mr. Shishiba, I don't think the god of killing loves you.
"Why do you say that?"
I had a dream. We were walking down a dark road, but you wandered off and got lost, Mr. Shishiba. Don't go far off. Don't go off on your own. Take me with you.
And all of a sudden, it cuts back to Shishiba as he's holding Osaragi, who's currently bleeding from the mouth. And then it shows someone zooming up next to Shishiba, but before Uzuki can draw a sword against him, he suddenly gets slashed in his back. Which is quite the feat, considering that the Takamura personality is currently in control right now. "I won't let you die." And it shows Osaragi laying down while she's currently bleeding. "I won't! And before he can finish this thought, we get the blade underneath Shishiba's chin, More muttering. And before Uzuki can kill Shishiba, he has to raise his sword in order to block a gunshot, because it's Kamehate. We haven't seen Kamehate in ages. He just comes in out of nowhere, and now he's here with Shishiba. I'll protect Osaragi! Because Kamehate has a thing for Osaragi. Wow. So now all the members of the Order are currently accounted for. Oh, I always love watching your reviews. Shocked to catch you live. I was actually so scared this chapter. The flashbacks terrify me. Hello, Nico W. and Ducky Figs. Hello. I hope your day has been well on this Easter Sunday. But I was terrified of this chapter the moment we got a flashback as soon as Osaragi got cut. Now, mind you, it wasn't a dismemberment type cut. She just got slashed in the chest, and I believe she got slashed in the back as well. And that's enough for Shishiba to go. That's enough for Shishiba to go like, yeah, I'm not letting you die. So it's nice that we got a little bit of a preview of their backstory about what happened with Osaragi. The JAA tried to take her out, and she just took them out without a single... Sorry about that. Osaragi basically defeated all of these dudes. Sorry, I had to get something to my family. All these dudes, she basically killed them all. And Shishiba basically invited her to the Order. Then we cut back in the present. Oki decides it's time to kill them all. What a nice tool you picked up, Shishiba. Oki doesn't even see Osaragi as a person, but as a tool to be used. That's it. Shishiba argues this, saying that she's not an object, Mr. Oki. We don't need strong-willed pawns here. We just need people who can follow orders. So they then destroy the floor, which they fall through into an entire army's worth of JAA agents. And Oki says, whoever kills them will join the new order. There are 2 seats. Fight for them. And everyone says, kill the traitors! And those are famous last words. Famous last words. I'm hoping Kamihate's arrival means good for Shishiba and Osaragi. I was so hyped to see him. We haven't seen Kamihate in ages. The last time we saw Kamihate was when Heisuke and him were having their sniper battle. And we really haven't seen Kamihate since then. Not even when the Order came to go and get Sakamoto. Not even when Sakamoto and company got out of the JAA prison. We didn't even see him then. So for him to jump in defense of Osaragi against the Order, my thing is, we all know what Kamihate is what he's capable of. He's the best sniper, the best long-range person in the entire series. Better than Heisuke. Though Heisuke is close, he is still not at Kamihate's level. So it should be interesting to see. Ooh, you know what I'm thinking? What if this is the moment we finally see who's underneath that hood? What if what if we actually see Kamihate underneath that hood? Introduction of Oki, Tanabata, and Torres. This was the last time we've seen Kamihate. It's been a while. It's been a while. I hope Osaragi survives. Shishiba, Kamihate, and Osaragi would move to Sakamoto's group. Oh yeah, You would have some incredibly powerful people in your repertoire if you get Shishiba and Osaragi. Osaragi, most of all, out of every single woman in this entire series that I've seen, from Satoru Sensei to Kumanomi, all the women we have seen in this series, even Dump was powerful, but still managed to fail in the face of Osaragi. Osaragi is the top, scariest, and strongest woman in this entire series. What you mean, let me rev up my circular saw, and then, while I'm just holding onto it with one hand, let me ride up the walls of this building in order to get away from all these people who are trying to assault me and then cut them apart at the same time. Osaragi scares me because she's strong. But now we are in some trouble because Uzuki, due to the fact that there's so much bloodlust in the air, we now fully know the trigger. It was mentioned before, but now we see that there's nothing Uzuki can do about it, because if there's a ton of bloodlust in the air, the Sakamoto personality will come out, because Sakamoto responds to bloodlust. So the Sakamoto personality, the strongest assassin in history, is now in control right now, and not only quickly incapacitates Osaragi, because she's not dead yet, but he incapacitates Osaragi. Shishiba manages, surprisingly, to land a hit against Uzuki. Mind you, when Uzuki's in this state, he's essentially Takamura, and Takamura barely had anything done to him, even after having to slice his arm off. He was able to reattach it cleanly back onto his body, which is insane when you think about it. Incredibly strong. But Osaragi was not dismembered, and just because you've been cut does not mean you're dead, because Uzuki got cut. And Shishiba's saying, I'm not about to let you die, which means that Osaragi is grievously injured, but she's not dead yet. She's not dead yet. And I'm not going to write her off as if, oh, she's going to die in his arms or anything, because she could have easily died here and there. It could have been easily written to have her decapitated, or her whole body just completely obliterated by Takamura. Could have easily had that happen. But no, it shows her getting slashed into the back. More blood coming out of the back than it was the front. So she also got, she got cut on the neck. Was it the neck or was it the back? Because here's the thing. We see her cut, but her neck is up here. If it was really her neck directly underneath her chin, the way this is drawn, we would see the blood coming directly from underneath her chin, like directly underneath, where the side of her jawline, we would see the blood coming out there. But it would appear that he slashed through her chest and the back at the same time. And it would just look, and it looks like it's coming out of her neck, but just due from the perspective. For me, it looks like it's just from the perspective. Because if it was the neck, we would see it in the panel where he's saying, I won't let you die, and she's laying there. We would see the pool. We would see a pool underneath her neck, or at least even a semblance of a cut directly next to her neck. So I don't think he got her neck. I think he slashed her in the chest. I wouldn't say she's dead. Uzuki wrote something sort of similar with Hio, but order members going through much worse before passing. I mean, Hio drowned. He drowned, but he made it so that his hand would hold on to Kumanomi, and Kumanomi had to cut off her own arm in order to escape. So let's just say these order members are in fact built different. If Takamura ain't an example that order members are just built different, then and the fact is, Osaragi is pretty much one of the strongest people in the order, if not the absolute strongest woman in the entire series. We've seen the stuff that she's done, effortlessly cutting through entire buildings or entire structures as if it's nothing. People trying to hold on to her, but her strength is so great that she's capable of dismembering and breaking people down as if they're nothing. I feel like Osaragi, she has been indeed hurt, but it wasn't a killing blow. Not yet. And now we have Kamihate who says, like, I won't let her die, I will protect Osaragi. So there is a high chance for her survival. Because you can't have another person saying, I'm going to jump in to protect him, and then that person just dies in the end anyway. So I feel like Kamihate is really going to help. But someone will die in this. Let's just see how it goes. The final war against Takamoto Uzuki will be legendary. I see an island fight for sure. Look, if not the JAA building becoming entirely destroyed in the process. The final fight between Takamoto Uzuki happening in the JAA building, definitely someone has to go. I'm just hoping it's not Shishiba or Osaragi. What happened? What would happen if it was Kamihate and we see Kamihate for the first time and it's also the last time? Wouldn't that be kind of ironic? The first time we see Kamihate's actual body and they wind up giving up their life in order to protect Osaragi? With Kamihate here, I think the chances of survival has gone up. It definitely has gone up. I'm not going to say anyone is due to die in this instance quite yet. Hold on, I got to get rid of all of these things. So real quick, let me pull up Kamihate. Kamihate. I'm not looking on here. I don't know about Osaragi being strong when her only feats are fighting fodder and her first fight was against the strongest. I mean, she fought Dump. She fought the bodyguard of Yotsumura. She fought against Carolina Reaper, easily eviscerated him. Do you think we are in the final saga? It's kind of hard to say. I don't know about Osaragi being strong, but I mean, she is strong. I mean, given the fact what we've seen her do is not normal. It's definitely not normal. Aside from Shin, everyone else she's fought have been incredibly powerful people in their own right. So, yes, she is strong. Let me see. I feel like a Kamihate death would definitely make sense and could make for a story beat I really like. I kind of feel like if Kamihate does show themselves... Hold on, let me see. Yeah, show himself. Sorry, I was confused on whether he was a he or a they because it wasn't confirmed. But I feel like for Kamihate, if he does indeed show himself, even in defense of Osaragi, if he were to die, I would understand it. And it would make sense to me if he were to perish in protecting the woman that he really, really cares about, even though he's not the best at expressing it. So, that's how I feel. Do you think we are in the final saga? I mean, wouldn't it be crazy if Sakamoto doesn't have that many chapters left? I mean, I know we're still a ways off. We still got to deal with the guns in Japan. We still got to confront Uzuki. We still got to get Japan back to normal. People are saying Uzuki is as bad as Gege when it comes to writing. Suzuki, you're saying Suzuki and not Uzuki, is as bad as Gege when it comes to writing female characters. I mean, I don't really see the issue because women who are strong in this series have reason to be, and it makes sense. It's not like they're just written to be strong and then they get one shot or anything of that nature. So it's not the same. It's not the same. Because people need to stop trying to compare how one person writes female characters in comparison to another person writing female characters when the power scaling of female characters in one series is completely different from another. So I feel like people need to really stop doing that. Because trying to draw comparisons rather than seeing a person's take on characters who are strong, female characters who are strong, just breeds like, well, this person's kind of similar because they don't know how to write female characters. Well, do you? Not you, real life, not you. But do these people, do they know how to write female characters? In a way that makes sense, it doesn't feel contrived or on the nose? Do they know how to write? Are they writers? So how would they, if they're not, how would they know? Can't just say like, well, I don't like how you're writing this character, so that means you can't write. That's nothing to go on. Everyone that encountered Osaragi said she's much more powerful than expected. I think Osaragi is a contender for top tier in the series. I believe so as well. I mean, the stuff that she does it nonchalantly. That's the thing. She does it on a level of Kizaru. Kizaru from One Piece does things nonchalantly, and rarely does he get like a overly serious face and takes things seriously. He's OP while chillin'. Osaragi is the same type of individual. She never loses that look on her face. The only time we see a different expression on her face is in this chapter, where back in the flashback, Osaragi was surprised that Shishiba wanted to take her with him. And then another one when she's sweating bullets and shuddering because she senses the presence of Takamura. That's the only other time we've seen like different emotions on her face, but everything else she does, she carries out just chill and nonchalantly, which underlies a massive amount of power that we've seen in short spurts, but that's enough visual storytelling to go off of, like, oh, this is a person not to be messed with. I kept saying this every single time she shows up and starts fighting, that I was scared of this woman. She scares me, because despite that petite little frame, she is incredibly powerful. So that's just how I feel about it. But back to whether we are in the final saga, there's still plenty of things that we need to take care of. All right? Like I said, we need to take care of the guns. We need to deal with the Order. We need to deal with Uzuki's group. And we need to return Japan back to its state before Uzuki took over. I'm not going to say to where it used to be before, because I highly doubt we're going to go back to like normal days as if they were the exact same due to everything that Uzuki has started. In my opinion, Uzuki is the worst antagonist in the manga. Oki, Yotsumura, and Kanaguri are way better. Speaking of Kanaguri, we haven't seen him in a minute. He chillin'? Is he recording all of this? I feel like it will work out quite well for his next movie, seeing Order versus Order members. I'm actually shocked that Kanaguri isn't currently recording this. Overall, I did enjoy this chapter. I did like it. And I had a feeling that this was going to be a chapter where we would get like a short flashback, if just that at all, of Shishiba and Osaragi talking to each other. That's just how I felt. And I'm glad that we did. But now we got another member of the Order who has not been seen in quite some time, Kamihate, coming in to aid Shishiba. Now, here's the thing that makes Kamihate showing up right next to Shishiba incredibly significant. Dude uses a anti-material rifle. It's a rifle. It works best from distance. Will you be reading any old mangas? Oh, will I be reading any new mangas? Is that what you meant to say? Autocorrect is a pain, isn't it? It's a pain, isn't it? I hate it too. But if you're asking if I'm going to be reading any new manga, I was thinking about doing Kagurabachi next after Kaiju number 8, after I fully caught up to that. But I decided, you know what? No, let's move on to Hunter x Hunter and read that instead. Because I feel like people will enjoy Hunter x Hunter over Kagurabachi simply because Hunter x Hunter has been around longer and it has much greater appeal. I'm even not saying anything less than Kagurabachi, but Hunter x Hunter is definitely up there in terms of series that people have asked me for me to read, and I've already said that I was going to read it. But yeah, that's probably next on my list, and that'll probably start a little ways after I fully caught up to Kaiju number 8. So yeah, once Kaiju number 8's reactions and read-throughs, big catch-up read-throughs are done, and I move the series to Thursday, then later on I'll start reading Hunter x Hunter, having sessions for those, and start reading that series, so that series can be added to the channel as well. But I'm going to pace myself so I don't overburden myself. Kagurabachi, yeah, Hunter x Hunter is peak 2. You need a lot of time. Yeah, there's a lot of chapters of Hunter x Hunter. Kamihate has insane reaction time, speed, even at close range. Remember when he dodged Heisuke shooting at point blank? That's true. Even though he's using an anti-material rifle, his level of aim and reaction time is absolutely insane. So let's see just how good he is against Uzuki using the personality and fighting skills of the world's most powerful assassin. Let's see how well a sniper a legendary sniper does against a legendary killer. Should be interesting. Considering how Shishiba managed to injure Usugi in this instance, it means that the Sakamoto personality isn't 100% perfect. Because if it was 100% Sakamoto, he wouldn't have been cut. He would have blocked it easily like old man Sakamoto would have done. But Usugi got cut, so it's not 100%. So there is some areas of weakness, like the weakness within the Byakugan during like one of the Triassic vertebra, right across the blind spot of the Byakugan. There's a blind spot for Uzuki somewhere, otherwise he never would have been cut by Shishiba's hammer. So that's the thought to keep in mind. But now we have a close-range fighter and a long-range fighter who can also double as a close-range fighter coming in to keep Osaragi safe. So we also don't need to... We can't just dismiss Oki and Torres. However, I feel like the moment they sensed that Takamoto's presence popped up, they probably stayed out of it, because Takamoto's the kind of individual that'll sweep up friends and foes alike in one attack. That's probably the reason why they didn't jump down with them, because they were probably just as much in danger with fighting alongside him than just watching. They probably saw that they were in way more danger possibly jumping down there with him than being away from him. You're safer from Sakamoto if you are not close to him. And I mean safer as in like a far enough distance away where his cuts can't touch you at all. Because it's a danger to be around that man. But yeah, I see some crazy reflection of bullets. I see some as well. Because Kamihate is going to shoot. Here's the thing. He shoots once in this chapter, and that's what saves Shishiba. Because Uzuki was about to literally slice his face off. You know the ending of Equilibrium when Christian Bale is going against Tay Diggs? And then slice his face up saying like, hey, don't get that suit. Don't ruin the suit. I'm going to be wearing it for a while. And Christian Bale just cuts him apart and then just slices his face up. Before Uzuki could do that, Kamihate shot him. And what I like about it is that you can tell that he didn't switch where his sword was. All he did was, when he was about to cut Shishiba, all he did was just turn the sword so he could block it, therefore making the blade move slightly away from Shishiba's face, keeping him from being a slight cut. Because he could have, if he wanted to, he could have went straight through Shishiba's face and then blocked it, but instead decided to turn the sword away from Shishiba, saving his life, and then block the shot from Kamihate. So it should be interesting to see next week's chapter. We're not going on break for this one either. We're not going on break for One Piece, and we're not going on break for Sakamoto Days. So next Sunday should be interesting. But yeah, that's all I got for all of you. You've been such a wonderful audience. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your support. Thank you for stopping by and watching me today. I gotta get started on the newest One Piece chapter. Kamihate seems like a guy that doesn't really have bloodlust and may be an interesting interaction versus the Sakamoto personality. It would be interesting for a person who lacks any bloodlust to go up against a person who thrives on it, who reacts mostly to it. Because if Sakamoto is instinctively reflexive to bloodlust, and that's how deadly, and that's how he became so deadly, then it should be interesting against someone who doesn't really have any bloodlust at all. But we'll have to see. But thank you for your time here, everyone. It's been an amazing Sunday. It's been a long Sunday, so I'm going to do this episode, edit it, get it out there, and then I'm just going to probably crash and burn after I'm done here. I'm probably not going to play any games. I'm just going to rest because it's been a long day. But hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!